Could a beach vacation turn deadly? While beaches seem peaceful, some hide lethal dangers from sharks and rip currents to toxic waters and deadly wildlife. Every year, unsuspecting visitors face fatal encounters in places where paradise meets peril. Here are 20 of the world's most dangerous beaches where nature doesn't play fair. 1. Ponani Beach, India. In 2018, after weeks of heavy rain, something incredible happened in the northern district of Kerala, India. A brand new beach suddenly appeared, stretching almost a kilometer into the sea. It seemed like a miracle, and the locals wasted no time in exploring this unexpected creation. But what they didn't realize was that Ponani Beach wasn't stable. It was an illusion created by shifting sands, and it was far from safe. Eager visitors ignored the warnings and wandered deep onto the sandbank, excited by the idea of walking so far out into the ocean. What they failed to consider was that the same forces that created the beach could also erase it in an instant. As the tide shifted, the sand beneath their feet began to give way, trapping some and pulling others into the sea. The dangerous nature of the sandbank became evident when people started vanishing, dragged away by the powerful waters. Despite multiple warnings, tourists continued to test their luck, believing they could outsmart nature. But Ponani Beach had no mercy, and those who underestimated its unpredictability paid the ultimate price. Just as Ponani Beach appeared overnight, it continues to shift without warning. And if history has proven anything, it's that nature doesn't wait for second chances. Now let's move from an unstable sandbank to a place where the water itself is your greatest enemy. 2. Hanakapi Beach, Hawaii. Nestled along the breathtaking Napali coast of Hawaii, Hanakapi Beach is a postcard-perfect destination. With its golden sands, lush green cliffs, and crystal-clear waters, it looks like something straight out of a dream. But in reality, this paradise is one of the most dangerous beaches in the world. Unlike other beaches where lifeguards and warning signs keep visitors safe, Hanakapi has none of these protections. And that's precisely what makes it so deadly. The waves may seem gentle at first, but beneath the surface, the water is anything but calm. Powerful rip currents form unexpectedly, pulling swimmers out to sea in a matter of seconds. The worst part? There's no easy way back. The ocean here has no protective reefs or sandbars to slow down the current. Once you're caught, the force of the water drags you further and further from shore. Over the years, more than 80 people have drowned here, many of whom were strong swimmers who believed they could fight the current. The nearby hiking trails make the area even more deceptive, drawing adventurous visitors into a false sense of security. But the moment they step into the water, their fate is sealed. With no cell service, no lifeguards, and no easy rescue options, Hanakapi Beach remains one of the most treacherous places to take a swim. And if rip currents weren't enough, our next beach is home to creatures that lurk beneath the surface, waiting for their next unsuspecting victim. 3. Gansbai Beach, South Africa. Known as the Great White Shark Capital of the world, Gansbai Beach in South Africa is infamous for its deadly waters. If you've ever watched a documentary about sharks breaching the surface, launching themselves out of the water in search of prey, there's a good chance it was filmed here. This stretch of ocean is home to one of the largest populations of great white sharks on the planet, making it a hotspot for thrill seekers and researchers alike. Tourists visit Gansbai for cage diving, hoping to get an up-close look at these apex predators. But while cages offer some level of protection, the risk is never fully eliminated. These sharks, some reaching lengths of over 6 meters, are curious, aggressive, and powerful enough to break through steel barriers. And for those who venture into the water without a cage, the outcome is almost always fatal. Shark attacks in this region are more frequent than most people realize. With an abundant food supply of seals, Gansbai attracts sharks year-round. While attacks on humans are often attributed to curiosity rather than predation, a great white's sample bite is more than enough to be deadly. The sheer force of their jaws can easily sever limbs or cause life-threatening injuries before help arrives. Despite the risks, divers and swimmers continue to test their luck, believing they can coexist with these predators. But in Gansbai, the ocean belongs to the sharks. And if that isn't enough to keep you out of the water, wait until you hear about the next beach where the risk of a shark attack is even higher. 4. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. If Gansby is the great white shark capital of the world, then New Smyrna Beach in Florida holds the title of the shark bite capital. It's not just a nickname, it's backed by statistics. This stretch of coastline records more shark attacks per square mile than any other place on Earth. In some years, nearly a third of all global shark attacks happen right here. Unlike Gansby, where great whites dominate the waters, New Smyrna Beach is home to bull sharks. These aggressive predators thrive in both saltwater and freshwater, making them even more unpredictable. Swimmers, surfers, and divers often don't realize how close they are to danger until it's too late. What makes this beach even more concerning is how frequently attacks occur. In 2021, 3 separate shark bites were reported in a single day. The victims were surfers who unknowingly paddled into a hunting zone. Though most attacks aren't fatal, the injuries can be severe and the psychological impact lasts a lifetime. Experts say the high number of bites is due to the region's murky waters, where sharks mistake humans for fish. Despite this, visitors continue to flock to New Smyrna Beach believing the odds of an attack are slim. But when you're in the most shark-infested waters in the world, those odds aren't in your favor. As terrifying as sharks are, they aren't the only thing lurking beneath the waves. Up next, we move to a beach where the water itself is responsible for more deaths than any predator ever could. 5. Boa Viagem Beach, Brazil. At first glance, Boa Viagem Beach in Brazil looks like the perfect tropical getaway. Located in the city of Recife, this beach is famous for its golden sands and warm waters. But what many tourists don't realize is that it's also one of the deadliest shark-infested beaches in the world. While the waters here may seem inviting, they are home to an alarming number of aggressive bull sharks and tiger sharks, making it one of the most dangerous places to swim. What makes this beach so hazardous isn't just the presence of sharks, but the sheer number of attacks that occur here. In the last 2 decades, over 50 recorded shark attacks have taken place, and what makes Boa Viagem truly terrifying is its fatality rate. Unlike most other shark-infested waters where attacks are often non-fatal, nearly 40% of shark bites here result in death. Experts believe the cause of this high concentration of attacks is the destruction of the shark's natural habitat. The construction of the Suape port disrupted the ecosystem, pushing sharks closer to the shore in search of food. Despite warnings, people continue to swim here unaware that they are stepping into one of the deadliest shark zones in the world. But while sharks are a terrifying danger, some beaches hide their true threat beneath deceptively calm waters. 6. Playa Zipolite, Mexico. On the surface, Playa Zipolite in Mexico looks like an untouched paradise. The picturesque shoreline and the warm Pacific breeze make it seem like the perfect spot to relax. But its name tells a different story. Translated from the indigenous Zapotec language, Zipolite means beach of the dead, and it has certainly lived up to its name. The danger here doesn't come from sharks or jellyfish, but from something much harder to predict: rip currents. These deadly currents form just below the surface, pulling swimmers away from the shore before they even realize what's happening. Once caught, it becomes nearly impossible to swim back, and many victims drown within minutes. Despite the risks, Playa Zipolite remains a popular destination, especially among thrill seekers and surfers. The local government has tried to improve safety by introducing lifeguards, but even with these precautions, the death toll remains high. Every year, dozens of swimmers underestimate the strength of the water, leading to tragic results. For those who visit, the key to survival is simple: stay out of the water. But not all dangers can be avoided so easily. Some beaches are deadly because of what lurks beneath the waves, and the next one is home to creatures that have ruled the ocean for millions of years. 7. Red Triangle, California. Off the coast of Northern California lies a region so infamous for shark attacks that it has earned a chilling name: the Red Triangle. This stretch of ocean, spanning from Bodega Bay to Big Sur, is one of the most dangerous places for swimmers and surfers in the world. With nearly half of all shark attacks in the United States happening here, it's not a place where you'd want to test your luck. The Red Triangle gets its name from the large number of great white sharks that patrol the area. These massive predators are drawn to the region because of its abundant marine life. Seals, sea lions, and other prey species thrive here, making it a perfect hunting ground. Unfortunately, surfers and divers often end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Unlike other beaches where sharks mistake humans for fish, the great whites here are known for their aggressive hunting behavior. Some attacks have been so severe that victims have been pulled underwater before they even had a chance to react. Despite the risks, surfers continue to challenge the waters, believing they can outmaneuver these apex predators. But no matter how experienced you are, when a 6-meter shark is hunting nearby, you are no longer in control. For those who think a great white shark is the worst thing they can encounter in the ocean, the next beach will prove otherwise. Here, the water itself can kill, even without a predator in sight. 8. Praia do Norte, Portugal. Nestled along the Atlantic coastline of Portugal, Praia do Norte is a place that surfers dream about and fear in equal measure. Known for its monstrous waves, this beach holds the record for the biggest wave ever surfed, a staggering 70 feet high. While the sight of these towering waves crashing onto the shore is breathtaking, it is also a stark reminder of the raw power of nature. What makes Praia do Norte so deadly is the underwater geography of the region. A deep-sea canyon just off the coast amplifies incoming swells, creating waves of unimaginable size and force. These waves are not just dangerous for surfers attempting to ride them, but also for anyone caught too close to the shore. Even small boats have been capsized by these powerful waters, leading to multiple fatalities. Despite the dangers, Praia do Norte attracts big-wave surfers from around the world, all eager to conquer what is often called the Everest of surfing. But many have learned the hard way that one misstep on these waves can be fatal. If you thought battling monstrous waves was terrifying, imagine being stranded in a place where rescue is nearly impossible. Our next beach isn't just dangerous, it's a graveyard for those who never made it out. 9. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. The Skeleton Coast of Namibia is unlike any other beach on this list. There are no crowded resorts, no tourists playing in the sand, and no surfers waiting for the perfect wave. Instead, this desolate stretch of coastline is littered with the wreckage of ships that met their end here. The eerie sight of rusted hulls, broken masts, and scattered bones tells the story of a place that has claimed countless lives. The dangers of the Skeleton Coast come from multiple factors. The treacherous waters are filled with unpredictable currents, dense fog, and violent storms that make navigation nearly impossible. Once a ship runs aground, survival becomes a brutal challenge. The coastline is a vast, barren desert where the scorching sun and lack of fresh water leave little hope for those stranded. Many sailors who survived their shipwrecks ultimately perished from dehydration, starvation, or the harsh desert conditions. Even today, this stretch of land remains one of the most unforgiving places on Earth. The Skeleton Coast is a reminder that nature is both beautiful and merciless. And while some dangers are obvious, others are much more unexpected. Next, we travel to a beach where the biggest threat isn't sharks, waves, or the elements. It's something far more chilling. 10. Dumas Beach, India. Dumas Beach in India is not like any other beach on this list. The danger here doesn't come from powerful waves, sharks, or deadly rip currents. Instead, it comes from something unseen, something that locals believe still lingers in the air. This beach is infamous not for its natural hazards, but for its paranormal activity. Once a cremation ground, Dumas Beach is believed to be haunted by restless spirits. Many visitors have reported hearing whispers in the wind, footsteps following them when no one else is around, and even shadowy figures appearing in the darkness. Some claim that people who venture too far at night never return. Despite these eerie tales, tourists still visit, drawn in by the mystery of the place. While there is no scientific evidence to prove the hauntings, the unsettling atmosphere and the chilling silence after sunset make it one of the most feared beaches in India. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, one thing is certain. This is not a place where you want to be alone at night. But if you think supernatural fears are unsettling, the next beach on our list is dangerous for an entirely different reason. 11. North Sentinel Island, India. On most beaches, the danger comes from nature, but on North Sentinel Island, the biggest threat is human. Located in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India, this place is home to the Sentinelese, one of the last uncontacted tribes in the world. They have lived in complete isolation for thousands of years, and they intend to keep it that way. Unlike other indigenous groups that have slowly integrated with modern society, the Sentinelese have remained hostile to outsiders. Anyone who dares to set foot on the island is met with a barrage of arrows. Several people have been killed over the years for trying to make contact, including fishermen and even a missionary in 2018. The Indian government has declared the island off-limits, warning people to stay away for their own safety. But even if you could step onto the beach, survival would be nearly impossible. With no modern resources, no medical care, and a community that will defend their land at all costs, North Sentinel Island remains one of the most dangerous places on Earth. However, some places are even deadlier, not because of their people, but because of what humans have done to them. 12. Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands. At first glance, Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands looks like a tropical paradise. Crystal clear waters, white sandy beaches, and palm trees swaying in the wind make it seem like the perfect vacation spot. But what lies beneath the surface is far from paradise. This island is one of the most radioactive places on Earth. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States conducted nuclear tests on Bikini Atoll, detonating 23 atomic bombs in the area. The aftermath left the land and waters highly contaminated. Even though the government declared it safe for human habitation in the 70s, returning residents soon discovered high radiation levels in their food and water. Today, Bikini Atoll remains mostly abandoned. While some tourists visit for deep-sea diving, they are warned not to stay for long. The radiation may not be immediately deadly, but prolonged exposure poses severe health risks. The beach may look inviting, but it carries the scars of a devastating past, one that continues to make it uninhabitable. From nuclear fallout to a coastline that looks straight out of a ghost story, our next destination is a place that is just as eerie, but for an entirely different reason. 13. Kosi Bay, South Africa. Kosi Bay, located in the northeastern region of South Africa near the border of Mozambique, is a pristine coastal paradise known for its crystal-clear waters, diverse marine life, and untouched beauty. However, beneath its tranquil surface lies a deadly combination of natural hazards that make it one of the most dangerous beaches in the world. The primary threat here comes from the bull sharks, also known as Zambezi sharks, which are notorious for their aggressive nature and ability to thrive in both saltwater and freshwater. Unlike great white sharks that primarily attack in deep waters, bull sharks are known to swim close to shore, increasing the likelihood of encounters with unsuspecting swimmers. In addition to bull sharks, Kosi Bay is also home to strong currents and shifting sandbanks, which make swimming unpredictable and hazardous. Many tourists underestimate the power of the currents, only to find themselves struggling against the relentless pull of the water. The area's remote location also means that emergency rescue services are limited, further increasing the risks for those who get into trouble. Despite the dangers, Kosi Bay remains a popular destination for fishing and snorkeling, particularly in its famous system of lakes and estuaries. However, visitors are strongly advised to stay informed about local safety guidelines and avoid venturing too far into open waters. The combination of unpredictable currents and aggressive marine life makes Kosi Bay a place where caution is not just recommended, it's essential for survival. 14. Cairns, Australia. Cairns, located in Queensland, Australia, is famous for being a gateway to the Great Barrier Reef. Every year, thousands of tourists come here to snorkel and explore marine life in its stunning blue waters. But few realize that these same waters are home to one of the deadliest creatures on the planet, the box jellyfish. Unlike sharks, which are easy to spot, box jellyfish are nearly invisible. Their translucent bodies blend perfectly with the water, making them extremely difficult to avoid. But a single encounter can be fatal. Their tentacles are lined with venomous cells that can cause excruciating pain, paralysis, heart failure, and, in many cases, death. During the summer months when jellyfish numbers are highest, authorities put up warning signs, and some beaches install nets to keep swimmers safe. But even with precautions, incidents still occur. Some victims never make it out of the water, their bodies found washed up on shore with no visible wounds. Cairns may be beautiful, but its waters are not to be taken lightly. While sharks make headlines, jellyfish quietly claim more lives every year. And if you think staying on land makes you safe, our next beach proves that danger can come from where you least expect it. 15. Tamarama Beach, Australia. Nicknamed Backpackers Express, Tamarama Beach in Sydney, Australia, may look like a peaceful stretch of coastline, but it hides one of the deadliest rip currents in the world. Every year, unsuspecting swimmers and tourists step into its waters, unaware that they are moments away from being swept out to sea. What makes Tamarama so dangerous is the strength and unpredictability of its rip currents. Even on seemingly calm days, these invisible water channels can pull swimmers hundreds of meters from shore in just seconds. Unlike waves that push water toward the beach, rip currents flow rapidly in the opposite direction, making them almost impossible to escape. Rescue teams at Tamarama Beach are among the busiest in Australia, responding to hundreds of incidents each year. Despite warning signs and lifeguards constantly patrolling the area, many people underestimate the power of the ocean. The moment they realize they're in danger, it's often too late. For those who do manage to escape the rip, exhaustion becomes the next deadly factor. Tamarama Beach may be small compared to other dangerous coastlines, but it proves that size doesn't matter when the ocean decides to take control. However, in some places, the danger isn't just in the water, it's roaming on the beach itself. 16. Fraser Island, Australia. Fraser Island, also known as Kagari, is a breathtaking paradise along the eastern coast of Australia. But beneath its beauty lies a series of hidden threats that make it one of the most dangerous beaches in the world. This island isn't just home to deadly rip currents, it's also known for its aggressive wildlife. One of the biggest dangers on Fraser Island is its population of wild dingoes. Unlike domestic dogs, these wild canines are unpredictable and have been known to attack humans, especially if they feel threatened. Several tourists have been bitten, and in some tragic cases, children have been fatally mauled. If the land isn't safe, the ocean isn't any better. Fraser Island's waters are filled with deadly creatures, including box jellyfish and bull sharks. The strong currents make swimming risky even for experienced swimmers, and the remote location means that rescue is difficult. Authorities have implemented strict guidelines for visitors, advising them to avoid feeding dingoes and to stay out of the water. But despite these warnings, Fraser Island continues to be a magnet for adventure seekers. However, there are some beaches where even taking a step onto the sand can be a life-threatening decision. 17. Maho Beach, St. Martin. Maho Beach in St. Martin is one of the most unique beaches in the world. It's not dangerous because of rip currents, sharks, or jellyfish, it's dangerous because of airplanes. This small Caribbean beach is located directly under the flight path of Princess Juliana International Airport, where planes descend at incredibly low altitudes, sometimes just meters above beachgoers' heads. For thrill seekers, standing under a landing aircraft is an adrenaline-pumping experience. The sight of a massive jet roaring overhead is surreal, and tourists gather daily to take photos and feel the intense rush of wind and sound. But what many don't realize is how deadly this experience can be. The most significant danger comes from the jet blast of departing planes. When aircraft take off, the force of their engines can throw people off their feet, slamming them against fences, rocks, or even into the ocean. In some cases, individuals have suffered serious injuries, and in a tragic incident in 2017, a woman lost her life after being blown back by a jet engine's force. While Maho Beach remains a popular attraction, authorities constantly warn visitors to stay at a safe distance. But for some, the thrill outweighs the risk. Yet, no amount of thrill-seeking compares to the sheer danger of our final beach, where the threats lurking in the water are the deadliest combination of all. 18. Cable Beach, Australia. Cable Beach in Western Australia is the perfect example of how paradise can quickly turn into a nightmare. With its soft white sands and turquoise waters, it looks like the perfect place to swim and relax. But step into the ocean here, and you may find yourself face to face with some of the most dangerous creatures on Earth. This beach is home to sharks, deadly jellyfish, and saltwater crocodiles, a combination that makes it one of the most treacherous coastlines in Australia. Unlike most places, where one dangerous creature dominates, Cable Beach has multiple predators waiting in the water. Saltwater crocodiles are particularly aggressive, capable of ambushing unsuspecting swimmers in shallow waters. Bull sharks patrol the coastline, and during the warmer months, box jellyfish infest the waters, their stings often proving fatal. Despite these hazards, visitors continue to flock to Cable Beach, drawn by its beauty. Some believe they can outsmart the risks, while others remain unaware of the dangers beneath the waves. But nature doesn't care who you are. When you enter its territory, you are no longer in control. As we reach the end of this journey through the world's most dangerous beaches, it becomes clear that beauty and danger often go hand in hand. Some places are deadly because of nature's raw power, while others are dangerous due to human recklessness. But one thing is certain: when it comes to the ocean, respect is the only thing that stands between survival and tragedy. 19. Réunion Island, France. Réunion Island, located in the Indian Ocean off the coast of Madagascar, is known for its stunning volcanic landscapes, lush rainforests, and beautiful beaches. But beneath the surface of its turquoise waters lies a chilling reality. This island has one of the highest concentrations of shark attacks in the world. Between 2011 and 2019, there were more than 20 recorded shark attacks, with over half of them being fatal. This alarming statistic led the government to impose a ban on swimming and surfing in many areas. However, despite the restrictions, some thrill seekers continue to enter the waters, often with devastating consequences. The main culprits behind these attacks are bull sharks and tiger sharks, two of the most aggressive species. Unlike other shark hotspots where attacks are rare and often non-fatal, Réunion Island has an unusually high mortality rate. Experts believe this is due to the shark's territorial behavior and the island's deep waters close to shore, which make it an ideal hunting ground. Local authorities have implemented safety measures, including surveillance programs and shark culling efforts, but the risk remains high. For many, the island's beauty is irresistible, but its waters serve as a stark reminder that nature's deadliest predators are never far away. But while sharks are a known danger, some beaches hide their threats in ways no one would expect. 20. Gurgaon Chowpatty Beach, India. Gurgaon Chowpatty Beach, located in Mumbai, India, may not be dangerous because of sharks or rip currents, but it holds a different kind of threat: pollution. This beach is one of the most contaminated shorelines in the world, where swimming isn't just risky, it's downright hazardous to your health. Unlike pristine tropical destinations, Gurgaon Chowpatty Beach is littered with garbage, industrial waste, and untreated sewage. The water here contains dangerous levels of bacteria, toxic chemicals, and heavy metals, making it unsafe for human contact. During the monsoon season, flooding worsens the pollution problem, pushing more waste onto the shore. One of the biggest concerns is the presence of fecal coliform bacteria, a sign of human waste contamination. The levels here are often far above the acceptable safety limits, meaning that even wading in the water can lead to severe infections, skin diseases, and respiratory problems. Despite its environmental issues, Gurgaon Chowpatty remains a popular location for festivals and cultural events. But for those who value their health, staying on the sand is the only safe option. As we conclude this journey through the world's most dangerous beaches, one thing becomes clear: danger comes in many forms. Whether it's the raw power of nature, the presence of deadly creatures, or the consequences of human pollution, the ocean is not a place to be underestimated. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.